Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. So today I'll be showing you how to cut a princess bustier directly on the fabric. So guys, let's get started. So guys, I'll be cutting directly on the fabric here. So I'm just making a straight line to serve as my shoulder line, and this fabric is on fold. So the next thing you will be doing is to place your waist measurements. The waist measurement I'm using here is 16.5 together with my stitching allowance. So guys, the first thing we'll be doing, all the things we'll be doing here will be like drafting our basic bodice on the fabric. So I'll be placing the bust point measurement, which is 10. I'll be placing the under bust measurement, which is 14.5, and I'll be making a line across those points. So like I said earlier, all the things we'll be doing now, it will be the basic bodice pattern. So I'm sure you guys are like conversant with it already. So here I'm just placing the shoulder measurement to make our shoulder slope. The neck line, I'm using 2.5 here, because after stitching it in, it will be giving me 3 inches afterwards. So I'm just marking 2.5 there. So the next I'll be going up by 2 inches, and that will serve as my chest line. So your chest line is basically 2 inches or 1.5 inches above the bust point. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be connecting the line from the shoulder line to the chest line to serve as my armhole line. So after that, I'll be making my armhole curve. These are just like a basic bodice. If you have not watched the video, probably I'll drop the link in the description box, so you can just go and watch it, so that I won't have like, you understand everything I'm saying here. So guys, if you're a beginner, I would advise that you use a very a stable fabric, because this fabric, as you can see, is a chiffon material and it's very shaky. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be placing the nipple to nipple measurement plus ½ inches. The nipple to nipple measurement I'm having is actually 3.5, so I'll be adding ½ inches to make it 4 inches, and I'll be marking that on all my lines. The reason why we had the 0.5 inches is because of the stitching, so that I'm adding the stitching allowance here, so that if I'm holding it, it will not reduce much more than what I want. This is because I'm drafting directly on my fabric. So for the armhole, normal way we used to do, and I'll be adding ½ inches as well to it, and I'll be marking it at 5. So I'll be connecting that 5 to the bust point, just the way I'm doing. So you guys should just watch what I'm doing. You understand everything I'm doing here. So I'll be connecting to the bust point. So after connecting to the bust point, I will remove ½ inches towards the midpoint, and I'll be removing 2 inches towards the armhole side, because 2 inches towards the armhole side and ½ inch towards the midpoint, like the front. So on the armhole, I'll be removing 1.5 inches towards the armhole side and ½ inches towards the shoulder line. So the next I'll be connecting my lines just the way I'm doing. So I'll connect it just the way I'm doing, so just like that, and I'll be using my cuff to connect from the under bust to the bust point using my cuff rule. If you don't have a cuff rule, you can use your free hand. I'm sorry, my chalk is not very clear, but if you follow what I'm saying, you will be able to get it. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be connecting the shoulder point, the new point I made, to the bust point like that using my cuff-rule. If you don't have a cuff-rule, you can use your free hand. I have a detailed tutorial on how to draft a princess bustier, and I'll be sharing the link in the description box so you can check. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be elongating that line with 1 inch outward. So guys, I'm basically done drafting it. The next I'll be doing is that I'll start replacing whatever I'm removing from my drafting back to the measurement. So the bust measurement I'm using is actually 10 inches. What I removed there was like 2 or 1.5 inches plus my sewing allowance of 2 inches. So I'll add everything up and I'll be placing it. So the same thing for the waist measurement. The waist measurement I'm going for is 8.5 inches. So I'll place the 8.5 inches. I will replace the 2.5 inches I removed earlier, and I will add the sewing allowance. So that is my 8.5 inches, 2.5 inches I removed, and my 2 inches stitching allowance, and I'll be connecting it together just like that. So basically that is all. So I'm just using my chalk to make the line to be put so that you guys can see my lines clearly. So the next I'll be doing is that I'll be marking out the shape of my neck. I'm going for a V neckline, so you can decide whatever you want here. It might be a U neck, a cuff neck, whatever neck you want. So here I'm going for a V neck, and I'll just be connecting it like that. So guys, the next thing I'll be doing is that I'll be cutting it out. Just watch the way I'm cutting it, you will be able to get everything like I said. So guys, I'm just cutting it out, and please watch closely how I'm cutting it out. You can see the 1 inch extension, you can see the new armhole I made, and I'm just cutting everything out just like that. So guys, I'm done cutting the front, and this is the main part. So for the back is just the normal basic body. So I've already drafted it here, so I won't be like giving you the in total on how I made it. So here I'm just marking the waist measurements plus my stitching allowance, and I'll be placing my dart of 4 inches. Like I said, I will take it up to the chest line, and I'll be connecting it just like that. And I'll be marking 1/2 inch on both sides here as well. And I'll be returning the 1 inches for the stitching of the darts to the allowance. So sometimes you might not need to add 1/2 inch to the back piece for your dart. You might remain it at that 3.5 inches, but then I just decided to use the one with 1/2 inch, and I'll just be cutting out. I'll be cutting it out. Don't forget to add your 2 inches or whatever inches you want to use for your zipper allowance. So after cutting my back, I'll be removing 1/2 inch from the waistline, and I'll be connecting it just to the zipper line, and so as to save my top from zip budge. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'll just cut 1/2 inch like that. And basically that's all about the cutting. So the next I'll be doing is that I will use my fabric to cut out my lining for both the front and the back. So here you can, this here I've already cut out my lining. The next I'll be doing is that I'll be cutting out my padding for the bustier. So you can see there are different type of padding. We have the soft one, we have the hard one like this, and we have the, it's very thick, and we have the like medium one, like I call it. So it's not as thick as the hard one, and it's not as soft as the soft one. So you just, I'll be using the medium one, and I'll just like cut out wording for the bustier part, and it will start from the chest to the under bust, just those places alone, from the chest to the under bust. Ensure that it's not reaching your neckline, because you don't want your neckline to be very thick. So ensure it's not touching your neckline. So just cut it from the chest to the under bust, just the way I'm showing. So you can see the way I'm arranging it on my padding, and I'll just be cutting it out just like that. So when it reaches the under bust, I'll fold it and I'll cut it straight. And for the side, I'll just be cutting, okay, so you can see the way I'm just trimming out the excess so as it will not be reaching my neckline. So for the side bustier, you can see the way I'm placing it. It will not be reaching the side of the bustier at all. It will just be enough to cover up the bustier parts, and it will just be reaching the under bust line as well. And I'll be cuffing it out, you know, just to give it that cuff side. So basically this is all about the cutting. The next I'll be doing is just to show you guys how I'll be sewing it. So guys, as you can see, I've already ironed my wording. Then the next I'll be doing is that I'll be arranging it, and I'll be using my pin to pin it down, just like that. So after pinning it down, the next I'll be doing is that I'll take it to my sewing machine, and I'll be stitching it with my 1/2 inch sewing allowance. So as you can see, I've already pinned the two sides down, and I'll take it to my sewing machine and I will be stitching it down. So for the back piece as well, I'll just be, I'll be fixing my lining to the both sides, and that's all. And I'll be holding my darts as well. So for the front piece as well, I'll be arranging the lining, and I'll sew it the same way I did for the front. As you can see, this is the front, like this is it after I finish sewing it. You can see how beautiful it is. And for the lining, I'll just place it so like the right side fits in each other, and I'll go ahead and fix it. And basically that is all. And you can decide to use it to do anything you want. You can decide to fix your flare, it might be gown, it might be anything at all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.